I'm going to talk to you about what to look for in your lamb when we're heading out there today.
Okay.
So what do you know to look for in your lamb?
A nice muscling. I feel their back.
And what are you feeling for on their back?
How thick, how big they are.
Do you know what that muscle is?
No.
That's the loin. So you're going to feel across the loin, and you want to feel for a nice big one if you can. The biggest one, not necessarily the biggest one you can find, but a nice one. What else are you going to look for? That's fine if that's everything you know. So when you're looking at the sheep without touching them, just looking at them from afar, at their structure, right? From the front, what do you want to see?
Their chest.
So what you want to look for, if it won't always happen naturally. Sometimes you're gonna have to just train the lamb to do this. But if you can find it just naturally, you can look to see if the sheep has a nice square posture, so their feet are not, once you like curved in or anything. You want to make sure that their feet are nice and straight, right? Like in a rectangle. And then you also want to feel the butt for muscle. And then another thing from the side that you want to see is you want to look for a lamb that has more of a flatter back, not one that's too arched up, not one that's loose and hanging like low. You want to look for one that has a nice straight back.
A strong back.
Yeah, a nice strong straight flat line for a back. You also just want to look for just naturally how big they are. If you can, you can see the difference between a smaller sheep and a bigger sheep, and you obviously don't want to pick a sheep that's really small.
Well,
but unless you are a smaller kid, then you can obviously go for that option.
You also want to consider the time that you have to get the lamb up to a certain weight.
Right, and that's also another thing. You also want to think about the timing and stuff like that. And a lot of that can be worked out with what you're feeding. You can kind of control their weight that way. But definitely something to think about. Anything else you can think of about how to decide which sheep would be the best one when you're picking them out?
No.
So another thing you want to look at, besides the body structure, anything like that, is it's kind of nice. It makes it a little bit easier if you can find a sheep that's a little bit more mellow. Obviously you're not gonna be able to know everything just by looking at them for a little bit when you're picking them out. But if you can find one that's a little bit more mellow, just by looking at how they're acting, that will really help with training them along in the future. Especially if you're a smaller kid and you don't have a lot of pull power. If you could find a sheep that's a little bit smaller and a little bit calmer, that it definitely would help with your problem there. So like Laura, you don't want to get the biggest, strongest, meanest sheep out there because you won't be able to handle that.
Last time.
No, you didn't. You picked a small lamb last time.
So that's everything I can think of. Anything else you can think of, Laura?
Do you want to get a lamb that has a limp?
No.
Okay.
Right. That's also you want to make sure that the person. You want to make sure that the person who is selling you the sheep is not scamming you in any way by giving you an injured sheep or a sick sheep. You want to make sure you have a nice healthy lamb. So It'll save you money and time, everything like that. You also want to make sure that they've had all their vaccines and all their shots. And if they haven't, that the owner tells you this information because it's very important.
Don't buy the lamb.
Also, just even before you go out to the farmer's house or to go pick out your sheep, you want to know what breed you're getting, right? You want to know what you're getting the sheep for, and then you want to make sure that you're getting the right breed for what you're trying to do. Like you don't want to get a breeding lamb for a meat market. It'll work, but it won't be as nice as the other actual meat breed sheeps or sheep lambs, right? Anybody else have anything else they can think of?
Do you think you can make a good choice today, Laura?
Yes.
Great.
All right, we are here to pick our sheeps out.